When I go to see a movie, I like watching it the regular way. No 3D nonsense, no IMAX bullshit. And you know what? Even though The Dark Knight Rises is really, supposed to be one of those really huge, spectacular movies, I think watching it in regular way was fine. So I was going into the theater, right, and I see this big old lineup to watch the IMAX viewing. I'm like, suckers. I don't, sure, IMAX is kind of cool and 3D is kind of cool, but it doesn't add anything to the movie. It doesn't. I mean, if you're truly a film fan, you don't care about these empty effects. You just want to go in and watch the movie, and that's what I did. And of course, when I left the theater, there's another lineup to see it in IMAX. I'm like, there's still suckers out there. But anyway, The Dark Knight Rises. Okay. Oh boy. It is a good movie. It's not bad, but it's just so many things to say. Okay. Well, to start off, for a movie that's about Batman, there's very little of Batman in it. I'm serious. Warner Brothers should have just said Bruce Wayne the movie, because that's what it was. It's no big secret. I'm not giving away when I say this, that in the beginning of the movie, Bruce Wayne retired as Batman and 8 years has passed. When he does become Batman again, for the first time, it was like for 10 minutes. It's not very long at all. It made like 15 minutes maybe. A little bit of action, not very long. And he does show up in the last act, maybe the last half hour, and that's it. Everything is about Bruce Wayne. And I don't know about you, but when I go to see a Batman movie, I'm not there to see only one or the other. I'm there to see both. I'm there to see both Bruce Wayne and Batman. And in the first movie, when he does become Batman, I found a good balance there. And in the second movie, he's already Batman, and you still have the balance. There's still Bruce Wayne and Batman. But in the third one, no. It's primarily Bruce Wayne. And in a way, I felt like I was watching the first movie all over again. It's Batman Begins 2. Bruce Wayne is becoming Batman all over again. It's like he has to learn his role, like he has to relearn everything. But the cool thing, though, is even though at the beginning of the film that he's retired, well, technically retired, he still has, there's this niche thing about him that you can tell he didn't give up. You still tell that he didn't want to, well, leave it behind, I suppose. He still likes to investigate. He still does a few his detective work per se, but he's not the one that investigates. He's not the one that makes the arrest. He still relies on the police. So, but when it comes to the villains, well, Bane is pretty badass, but there is something about his voice. I can't put my finger on it. Like, his voice sounds like if Sean Connery was struggling with a mouthful of ice cream that was too cold. They're like, oh, Batman, oh yeah, oh man, it's not terrible, but I don't know, for a big guy like Bane, I imagine something more bigger, I suppose, something larger. I mean, the voice did sound large, but it's one of those things you can't overly describe. But overall, I don't think it was completely Bane. Like, it's not terrible. This is more of a nitpicking kind of thing. It doesn't really ruin the movie or anything like that. It's just something that, okay, I can learn to deal with this. But when you first hear it, it's like, whoa, that's Bane? Anyway, Catwoman. Well, Catwoman is not really a villain. She's more of an anti-hero, and you know what? That's how she is portrayed in The Dark Knight Rises. She really is. Now, over the years, there are different Catwomans. The last one was portrayed by Michelle Pfeiffer, and she did a fantastic job. And comparing which Catwoman is the best is a lot like trying to say which Joker is the best one. Like, from the 60s, I mean, Heath Ledger's performance was amazing, but you can't really tell which one's the best. You can't just say which Joker is the best, which Catwoman was the best, because they were all on their own. There were different types of Catwoman, different types of Joker, and you know what? In The Dark Knight Rises, she's kick-ass. In fact, out of the whole movie, Selina Kyle was the most interesting character through the entire movie. Like, she's the only one I really cared about. And people are saying, oh, I'm being biased, I'm a cat person, blah blah blah. But no, it's really cool because in the animated series, in the older movies, like in Batman Returns, her costume, for example, she looks like a cat. She has the pointy ears. She looks like a cat. She has cats. She likes cats. She's more than just a cat burglar. Like, she looks and plays the part. Now, in Dark Knight Rises, like, she's a cat burglar. She's never referred to as the Catwoman. She's just known as a cat burglar. When you look through the newspapers, oh, the cat strikes back, right? So she's never referred to as Catwoman. And she has the black costume. She has her mask on, like a burglar would. But the cool thing is the ears. Now, those aren't actually ears. It's a coincidence they look like ears. It's actually a mask. Actually, these high-tech glasses she wears to help her see in the dark, or find fingerprints, etc. But when she flips them back, they just happen to look like cat ears. So she looks like Catwoman, but not on purpose, which I think is really cool. It's a real-world solution to a fictional character. So I love that. Everything else with the movie was fine. The editing was fine, the music was fine, the acting was really good, the pacing was okay. But like I said before, I felt like I was watching the first movie all over again. The philosophy, like all the deep conversations the characters have with each other, they're still there. But I think they're not as overblown as they were in the second movie. I mean, Alfred, he was pretty preachy. He was. And he still is in this one, but it's not there for too long. I mean, you'll see what I'm talking about once you watch the film. But overall, I still recommend it. I still do. Of all the three films, number 2 is my favorite. But as a conclusion to a series, I think The Dark Knight does the series justice. It does. It's not without its flaws, but I think it still works. To me, this is the kind of film that I think it's going to be one of those guilty pleasure films. And the reason why I say that is, even though it's not the strongest out of the series, there's just something about it that keeps you going back for more, but you don't really want to admit to it. And I think that's what The Dark Knight's going to be. It is a good movie. It's not the best of the series. It's not... I don't think it's Christopher Nolan's greatest works. But for the genre, but for Batman, it's okay. I think it works. It does the series justice. It brings it to an ending. But like I said before, if you're really looking for Batman action, this is not. It's not the movie for you. Just rewatch the first 2. But again, I still recommend it. Go ahead, watch it, have fun, and enjoy it. So yes, I overall I liked it. I liked it a lot. But out of the series, it wasn't my favorite personally. But I'm sure I'll see it again. It's going to be a guilty pleasure of mine. So, Chimineko signing out.